For those of you that are mad about Justin Baldoni or Wayfarer technically and team settling, I want to offer a different perspective. Genuinely, I think they were able to prove their point and prove their innocence, quote unquote, not legally, but to the masses, in my opinion, they came out on top PR wise. And I think that was always their goal, was to prove that she's either greatly exaggerating situations or flat out lying about them. At this point, I think most of their story is out there. I think a majority of people have a good idea of what happened on that set. And as of right now, a majority of people think he's a pretty benevolent entity in this whole thing. At worst, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't think people think he's a predator, which when the New York Times article came out, he was flat out made out to be a predator. And that is a life altering, career ending accusation. And he needed this lawsuit to clear his name. So at this point, say it continues to court, it's just going to cost him a whole lot more money. At this point, I think he and his team know that for the most part, the public is on his side. His story, for the most part, likely has already been told. Court was not going to do anything more for him. I genuinely think this was all about PR. And in my opinion, to the masses, he came out on top PR wise. So all court really would have done is maybe exposed a few more things about her. Anybody that's still supporting her at this point, nothing in court was going to turn any of those people. There's nothing else that was going to come out that was going to turn those people. Maybe we would have gotten more things like her trying to delete the dailies. And as much as that's a sensational PR day, everybody that's sharing that are people that already do not like Blake Lively, have already made their decision. My point is it would have been a lot of money for not a lot of change. So for the Wayfair team, for Justin Baldoni, they've already won. Why not settle and save themselves however many hundreds of thousands of dollars the actual court was going to take? Save themselves the pain of being on the stand. I'm going to assume for Blake Lively's team, maybe somebody on her PR team finally got through to her. I would imagine that her team was like, if we can just win in court, PR wise, this can then be blanketed and say that we won. I think that when his team came out and said, okay, let's just say for the trial only that she did participate in protected activity. And that's fine. Like, we'll just say that. And then her team is no longer allowed to argue that point of it and get out those humdingers and kind of plant the seed that it was more nefarious, maybe to a jury that's not super aware of the case. Because I know here on the internet and the people watching this video, we've all probably kept up with it a lot, but your general public, they don't. And they were trying to specifically pick a jury that isn't aware of all of the nuances of this case. And when they took that off the table and they basically said, yeah, she participated in protected activity. And PR wise, because that would have been her biggest win, is them saying, yes, she participated in protected activity. And PR wise, it still didn't swing her way because her team tried to swing that her way and they tried to fight it to where they couldn't claim that, and it still didn't sway the public's opinion. I think that was when her PR team either finally broke through to her or had to come to Jesus with her and said, no matter what happens in this case, we are down bad. So unless we've got a Hail Mary, which we would have known at this point, you are not going to come out on top PR wise in this case. We don't have anything big enough to sway the public's opinion of him. So what do you want to do? Do you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and have even more stuff that you did and said come out and the public use against you and tarnish your image further, like deleting the dailies? And I think she finally made the decision of, okay, enough is enough. And his team made the decision of, we've already won, so sure,